A vehicle is made up of many individual parts. When required, the correct parts must be quickly located and ordered with the aid of EPC Net. To this end, this training program will help you to get started with using the Electronic Parts Catalogue EPC Net. The manufacturer needs to have a large number of parts at its disposal for each vehicle and each major assembly. The workshop requires replacement parts, the sales department additional equipment. The vehicle manufacturer has to keep these parts in stock for a long period of time and for the entire product range. The result is a huge collection of parts. When required, the right parts for a specific vehicle or major assembly have to be selected, the various equipment features and variants having to be taken into account in the process. At Mercedes-Benz, the unique part numbers going back to 1946 have been recorded and stored electronically. The EPC Net program gives you access to this database and assists you in identifying parts. EPC is the abbreviation for Electronic Parts Catalogue. The EPC Net user interface is clearly divided into 5 different areas. Move the mouse pointer over the screen to learn more about these different areas. Here is where a diagram of the parts is displayed. This is the parts list. The list overview helps you to manage the different shopping lists. This is the shopping list, where the selected part numbers are collated, enabling you to order them or remove them from the warehouse. At the top are the basic control functions. The way EPC Net works can be likened to a series of filters connected one after the other, each one narrowing down the search results. At the start, you have a complete list of all the part numbers. Each filter removes a number of parts, leaving just the ones you want. Mode enables you to select whether you want to search for paints and service products, optional equipment, or parts for specific model series. The Assortment class enables you to specify whether you wish to select parts for passenger cars, vans, or trucks, etc. The next filter enables you to specify for which model series or major assembly you wish to search for parts. Stocks of parts vary from market to market. Here you can select your market, for example, Europe or North America. Then you can choose the related design group or major assembly. Once the subgroup has been selected, there are only a few parts left, making it easy to make your final selection. In EPC Net, these filter functions are selected from the pull-down menu bar. This menu bar is your most important tool when working with EPC Net. Now have a go yourself and search for the steering wheel for a passenger car model 211. First select Model Designation Mode. Good. Now select Car from the Assortment class. Excellent. All the major assembly types and model series variants for passenger cars are now displayed under Model Designation. To quickly locate Model 211, enter the number 211. Very good. You now see only the model series numbers that contain the number combination that you entered. The steering wheel you are looking for belongs to model series 006. Please select this one. Now select Europe as the market. EPC Net now lists the design groups and major assemblies for the vehicle model. The steering system is number 46. Select this. You are almost there now. The groups are normally so extensive that they are divided into several subgroups. Please select subgroup 105. That's it. You've found the steering wheel. The parts list and the associated image are now displayed. The pull-down menu bar shows the route you took to get there. By the way, it's much quicker and easier if you use the vehicle identification number. You will learn more about that on the next page. Clearly, the most important item of information that EPCnet requires when searching for workshop literature is the VIN, the vehicle identification number. This 17-digit number can be found in the vehicle documents, on the vehicle identification plate, and stamped on the vehicle frame. If you are familiar with it, the vehicle identification number can tell you quite a bit. The first 3 digits denote the World Manufacturer Code, whereby a manufacturer may have several codes. WDB and WDD, for example, are the abbreviations for Mercedes-Benz. The next 3 digits in a vehicle identification number for a Mercedes-Benz vehicle denote the vehicle model, and the ones afterwards the model series. The next 2 digits are an internal code. Finally, the last 6 digits form the vehicle's sequential serial number as assigned when it comes off the assembly line. The numbers for major assemblies and groups such as engine, transmission and, in the case of trucks, the axles too, follow a similar pattern. A distinction is to be made between major assemblies and groups. Once the vehicle identification number has been entered, EPCnet skips immediately to the group filter, so you can select a group. Clicking on the data card icon enables you to view the data card. However, if the identification number has not yet been entered, or if the number has not been entered in full, this button remains inactive. This is indicated by a red cross. The identification number is entered here. Numbers that have already been entered are saved and can also be selected directly by clicking on the pull-down menu. Now click on the vehicle identification number that's been entered. Good. You can see that the data card icon has changed its appearance. The vehicle is now shown in blue. Now press the button to display the data card belonging to this VIN. EPCnet can display the data cards not just for passenger cars, but for commercial vehicles and industrial engines too. However, these have a different layout. Have a look now at some examples of a data card for a passenger car, a truck, or an industrial engine. Here is where you will find information on paints, optional equipment, and their codes. Here is where you are given general information about the vehicle. The numbers of the major assemblies installed are displayed here. Here is where you are given general information about the vehicle. The numbers of the major assemblies installed are displayed here. Here is where you will find information on paints, optional equipment, and their codes. The numbers of the major... This area displays general information about the engine. At the bottom are the SA codes and their numbers. What is the correct sequence of pull-down menus as they occur in EPCnet? Drag the elements to the correct position. Excellent. That's correct. Now select the steering wheel from the steering system subgroup. Good. For each subgroup, there is just one parts list and one or more diagrams. The diagrams for the entire group are numbered consecutively. They can now be displayed using the diagram number bar. Click on the numbers to view the various diagrams in the group. You have just switched subgroups. A different parts list is displayed. The current subgroup can be seen in the pull-down menu bar. You have just switched subgroups. A different parts list is displayed. The current subgroup can be seen in the pull-down menu bar. This diagram belongs to the same subgroup and parts list, so only the diagram has changed. The diagram and parts list are linked with each other. Now select the part number for the steering wheel from the parts list. Very good. The item number in the diagram is now yellow, and the corresponding line in the parts list now has a blue background. You can therefore see which parts in the diagram belong to which line in the list. Now click on item 10 in the diagram, which is the steering wheel. You've got it. You can't fail to have noticed that the parts list is now much shorter. Clicking on a number in the diagram reduces the parts list to the selected component. The item number in the diagram now has a blue frame around it. It's also possible for several numbers in the same diagram to be highlighted. In the diagram, now select the bolt with item number 70 as well. The parts list is expanded accordingly. You can also deselect individual components. To do this, click on item number 70 again. OK. By the way, you can cancel the selection and display the full parts list again using the star icons. Click on one of the star icons. Excellent. To ensure that a part is reliably identified, it is essential that any further additional information is also taken into account. Some of the entries in the parts lists have footnotes, whilst others have code information, or both. They are marked with a small paper icon. However, this information cannot usually be displayed in full in the parts list, in which case it is shown in blue, is underlined, and can be clicked on. Click on the footnote to display it in full. Good. The footnote can contain important information on colours, validity, and special features. To exit the display, click on the button marked Close. Now click on the link to the code information. This is where a description of the code is displayed. In the commercial vehicle sector, code information is known as SA component information, whilst in the bus sector it is known as construction kit information. Code information may be linked with a plus sign. This means that the part may only be installed if all the codes linked with a plus sign are installed in the vehicle. A minus sign in front of the code indicates that the corresponding part must not be installed on a vehicle with this code. Technical innovations and improvements mean that older parts are continually being replaced with new ones. First of all, select the rear subframe in the diagram. It is item number 10. Here there are several entries for one part. You can see from the information in Replaced By that this part has been replaced several times by others. The footnote tells us that the top part number must no longer be used. It has been replaced by the middle one. Although the middle number has already been replaced by the bottom number, it may still be used if, for example, this part is still in stock. For new orders, however, the bottom number must be selected. This is the current one. This can also be done by clicking on the box next to Replaced By. In addition to updated variants, there are also identical parts from different manufacturers. These have different part numbers. This means that a part bearing any of these part numbers may be installed. In the case of such parts, the other possible part numbers are listed after the text Optional With. It does not matter, therefore, which of these parts is installed in the vehicle. If a part is related to a particular color or item of equipment, an ES2 code must be given when ordering the part. ES2 stands for Supplementary Code 2. The color footnote tells you whether an ES2 code has to be quoted when ordering a part. The instructions must be followed. Click on the footnote. The supplementary code uniquely defines the color or the equipment variant of the part to be ordered. The ES2 code is always a 4-digit number. Now click on the code. When ordering parts, the supplementary code becomes an element of the part number. If the code is missing, EPC Net may ask you to enter it. There is one other code, Supplementary Code 1. It provides information on dimensions, such as lengths or container sizes, as well as on reconditioned parts. Here a brake fluid is required. This code is always a 2-digit number. Here too, a footnote tells you whether it is required. It often makes sense when replacing specific components to replace other components at the same time or order new ones. Examples where this might be done are brackets, bolts and covers. In the steering wheel example, it makes sense when replacing the airbag to replace the multifunction switch as well. You can easily see on the parts list which parts are secondary to others. They are indented and preceded by a dot. They are referred to as sub-items. It is important to be aware that the sub-items are supplied automatically when the main part is ordered. In contrast, sub-items can be ordered individually. If you just need the multifunction switch, you do not have to order the entire airbag as well. A sub-item can itself have sub-items. In this case, these items will be assigned 2 dots, and so on. Once you have found the correct part numbers, it makes sense, of course, to save this information too. For this purpose, EPC Net provides a shopping list, as it is known, which you can use to select or order parts from the store. Now highlight the sleeve, which is item number 30 in the parts list, by clicking on the small box. Excellent! The part number is now selected and has been transferred to the shopping list. The entry in the shopping list can now be edited further. Click on the entry in the quantity column. You can now use the keyboard to enter the number of parts you require. Excellent! Where required, you can also enter the corresponding codes in columns ES1 and ES2. Now transfer the plug by checking the box in front of item number 40. Good. You can, of course, also delete part numbers from the shopping list. To try this out, click on the line containing the sleeve. OK, now click on the small rubber eraser icon. Excellent. Now only the plugs are left on the shopping list. By the way, the large rubber eraser is used to delete all the entries from the shopping list. You haven't yet saved your shopping list. It is what is known as a temporary shopping list. Temporary means that it is lost when you exit EPC Net. Now click once on the small black triangle at the far left-hand side of the window at the bottom. Good. You can now see a list overview. Here you can save or delete your lists and also reload them to work on them further. The list you are currently working on is entered here as the temporary shopping list. Click on the floppy disk icon. Excellent. A dialog box opens, enabling you to save the list. You can give the list a name. EPCnet suggests you give the respective VIN as a name. Simply click on OK to save the list under the VIN. Saving the list transfers it to the server, making it available for editing on another computer, for example. The name of the saved list appears in the list overview and can be retrieved again by clicking on it. The temporary shopping list is now empty. What is the recommended procedure for identifying and then ordering parts? Drag the descriptions to the correct positions in the sequence EPCnet is a very extensive tool. This training program merely gives you an overview to enable you to get started with EPCnet. However, further assistance is available which you should know about. Click on the diagrams to find out more. To keep up to date, it's worth looking at the What's New section in EPCnet. This is where new functions are documented. What's New is automatically displayed once every month when you start EPCnet. Naturally, there are also training courses on EPCnet available from Global Training. These look at the system in some depth. The online help facility can be used when working with EPCnet. This gives you quick, comprehensive assistance with the screens and functions currently being displayed. The online help also keeps pace with current developments in EPCnet. When working with EPCnet, the fastest way of getting help is by doing it yourself. Brief information on the icons can be obtained by moving the mouse pointer over them. Take a look at these tooltips by moving the mouse cursor over the icon bar. When you have finished, click on the Help icon. This is the icon for the online help. As well as on the main screen, it is also available on other screens, such as the search screen. Click on it and find out what the search function involves. Excellent! The online help is opened and immediately shows you what it's all about. If you know the number of a part, you can search specifically for this part number using the search function. The online help can provide you with further information if required. In the example illustration, click on Designation. The online help now shows you another page for further clarification. In this example, you can see that in the search function, you can also enter the name of the part. In addition to navigating through the online help by using the icons, you can also search by keywords. This full-text search facility can be found in the online help under Start Search. When working with EPCnet, please pay special attention to the Notes icon. This enables you to compile and retrieve electronic notes. Click on the icon to see an example of a note. These notes can be very important. A frame around the Notes icon indicates that a note is present. Notes that have been compiled by EPCnet users are marked yellow. These user notes, as they are known, can be compiled by any user and displayed in the respective workshop department. The so-called market note has a red frame around it. It can only be compiled by authorized persons within a specific market and for that market. Another type of note is the manufacturer note. It has a blue frame around it, is created by Daimler AG, and is applicable worldwide. Notes can be present in all sorts of places in EPC Net. Now find all the icons with a yellow frame and click on them. This icon enables you to create or retrieve a note for a group or subgroup. The data card icon may also have a colored frame around it. This indicates that the note is linked with the data card. A frame may also appear around the Notes icon in the image navigation bar.